This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dunedin's annual marathon race is cancelled for the second year running. A goat farmer near Gore is keen to share her knowledge with others. And a Southland jet ski group hold their first event of the summer. Kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa, good evening, ko Melissa Barton Aho. Organisers behind Dunedin's marathon say they are very disappointed and having to cancel the event for the second year in a row. However, they're hoping for an even bigger running race this time next year.
About 2,000 runners and walkers will not be pounding Dunedin streets on the 7th of November because this year's Dunedin Marathon has been cancelled. The re-emergence of COVID-19 in the community meant the cancellation was always a likely outcome, with the event having already been delayed from its original date of mid-September. The running race was also cancelled last year, and organiser Stu McCormick says a lot of hard work had gone into planning this year's event.
Oh, it's very disappointing. We've got a great team of volunteers who work relentlessly throughout the year from the club who are going to be absolutely gutted that the event that they put on and they look forward to is not going to happen once again.
With Emerson's as a new name sponsor and various distances ranging from the full 42-kilometre marathon to a friendly family 5-kilometre walk, there's now a lot in place for next year's event.
We've got the infrastructure all set up, ready to go. We've got a great bunch of sponsors who are really behind us, and we've got a really good team. So, you know, we're busting a gut. We really want this to happen, and next year it will happen. We'll all have vaccine passports. We'll all be ready to go. We'll have over 95% of the population sorted, and we'll be ready to run.
And for those thinking of taking part, remember that it takes between 4 and 5 months of regular training to build your heart, mind and muscles for the exertion on the day.
What we do want to see is people continue their training, to get out there, enjoy the surroundings and our beautiful setting of Dunedin, and just enjoy running.
Next year's Dunedin Marathon is set for the 11th of September. In Dunedin, The South Today.
A driver was shaken but not hurt after their car rolled into a ditch north of Dunedin today. Police were called to the scene on Coast Road near Warrington at 10:30 this morning. They say the driver was not injured but shaken by the incident. The road remained open throughout. A dairy farm near Gore is trialling adding goats to part of its production. And the farmer behind the scheme is keen to share her knowledge of goat farming with others in the community.
Goat breeder Donna Morton runs a herd of about 40 goats on a 100-hectare dairy farm at Seaward Downs near Edendale. The animals are a Swiss breed called Saanen, which are known for their high productivity of milk. Morton got into goat farming about 10 years ago because she's lactose intolerant and goat's milk is a solution. Morton started breeding animals to sell the kids onto other farmers. At present she has 13 does and is in the process of building up the herd to about 50 or 60. She says she prefers to put the bucks over different does to interweave the genetics, while other does are inseminated with semen imported from France. Morton says goats are similar to dogs in that they are highly intelligent, which can be both good and bad. Goats do sometimes open gates to wander off to other places that might appeal to them, but on the positive, they don't need a lane to help them find their way to the milking shed each day. When Morton started breeding goats, she thought she already knew a lot about them. However, it's been conversations with other goat breeders that's provided her with valuable information about how to farm the animals. And now she's making herself available to other goat farmers who are starting out. Near Edendale, the South Today.
Police have formally identified an alleged murder victim whose body was found at a Dunedin property last week. A woman's body was located by police at a property in the suburb of Glenleith on Friday, and a 43-year-old woman was charged with murder later the same day. Both she and the victim have been granted name suppression. The investigation into the incident was ongoing. A Southland-based jet ski club started off the summer season with time trials on a pond near Gore over the weekend. The group says it's also hoping to organise a social trip across to Stewart Island as well.
About 35 riders, young and old, took part in a jet ski event on Eden Pride's Pond near Gore on Sunday. The 1 kilometre course involved time trials so as to keep riders safe.
You have 2 skis start at each end of the course, and then you just go when the hooter goes, and then after you've done your 3 laps you stop, and the first person back to where they started wins, and you just have multiple heats.
Called Jet Skiing Southland, the group started on Facebook about 2.5 years ago as a way of people who like jet skiing to enjoy the sport together.
This event is the start of the season where we just have a jet ski race, and then from there we do trips around Manapori to Yarnell. We're planning a trip from Cromwell to Wanaka and back up the river.
The bigger jet skis are capable of attaining speeds well over 100 kilometres per hour, and the club is hoping to one day do a trip across Fovo Strait, a journey that's about 3/4 of an hour each way.
We're still in the throes of getting to Stewart Island, so this has been a plan for 2.5 years now, and every time we decide to do it, the weather's not right, the sea's not right, people have other staff, but we will get there.
You're going to jet ski to Stewart Island?
Yes, it's a 45-minute trip.
In Gore, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. A large piece of land goes on the market in Dunedin with development potential for 100 sections, and a Dunedin man channels the challenges of COVID-19 into a song. So catch this and more after the break.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Welcome back. A large piece of land on the market in Dunedin could provide 100 sections for development. The real estate company Colliers Otago has listed a 12.5 hectare site at the end of Walton Park Avenue in Fairfield, saying it could be developed into residential sections of about 800 square metres. The site, which is more or less adjacent to State Highway 1, is zoned as general residential. Colliers says it is selling the land on behalf of a company called Waste Management and is expecting to see high demand from buyers. A Dunedin man has channeled the challenges and anxieties of the COVID-19 pandemic era into his latest song, which is called Tuia Manu. Simon Henderson spoke to musician Lani Arlo, who says he's fortunate to have a talented team to record the song and create the accompanying music video.
So Te Lai Whalafa, first off, you're in lockdown in Auckland. Can you just tell me a little bit about how that came about and what your lockdown experience has been?
Sure thing. So I was in Dunedin up until the start of September. And then I got word that my mother wasn't well. So my mum and dad live here in Auckland. So when I got the call that mum wasn't well and you know, mum and dad needed someone at home to be with them, I packed up and essentially moved back up to Auckland for the time being. It's very different to come from, I guess, there's a bit more freedom down in Dunedin. So to come from freedom to a level 4 lockdown again was interesting to say the least. But it's been good so far. I mean, we've seen on the news what's happening up here in Auckland, but it's so far so good to be here with family and yeah, just taking it day by day.
So moving on to the signal, so Tuia Manu, can you tell me the message behind the single?
At the essence of Tuia Manu, it's really just it's a prayer. It's a prayer to God, and the message that we're trying to, I guess, share and convey through the music and the visuals is that, you know, regardless of where we are in our walk of life and our journey, you know, when we do hit those tough spots, we can look to God or, you know, whoever we believe in for guidance and trust that, you know, that God will guide us through, you know, to the end of our journeys or to the next season or phase of our life. So that's essentially the essence of the message behind Tuia Manu.
And it's beautifully produced. Can you tell me about some of the artists who've also made this come to life with you?
So we're very fortunate to have a really, I guess, stacked team come together for this project. We have award-winning music producer, sound design, video design, visual artist Anonymous, who's based in Auckland. So he was the creative producer and director behind the project and my previous project, Aloio Favour, under his company 37 Hertz. We had Kanan Ene, who's a young creative content designer, videographer here in Auckland, who was in charge of photography and film. And then we had my local Dunedin-based arts collective, Brown Bruce Creative, Sami Lani Alai, who wrote the screenplay, as well as pretty much a full Dunedin cast and crew, apart from Anonymous and Kanan, who had come from Auckland. So yeah, it was a big manpower behind the project. But those are just some of the people who were involved.
And I think the music video that goes with it, it's a really affectionate look at Dunedin. I mean, you've got First Church in there, you've got Aramoana. What was it like shooting in some of these locations?
It was a dream come true. I've been living in Dunedin since 2012. came down for study, and I immediately fell in love with Dunedin and the Otago region and its people. And so to be able to be in a stage of my career where I can showcase that through the visuals, for my music, it was a dream come true. I've spent a lot of time at these places, and they really mean a lot. So it was a real dream come true.
With the song and with the video, is there anyone in particular that you've actually dedicated this to?
So we've dedicated this project to my songwriting partner and creative advisor is my brother Livingston Efu, who also studies in Dunedin, and his late grandfather Tanuvasa Taito Livingstone was a former MP and cabinet minister for Samoa, and so a lot of his the words that he used to use in his prayers, when he was alive, is the backbone and the foundation a lot of the lyrical content of the song. So we decided to dedicate this to Livy's late grandfather, Tanuvasa.
Is there a final comment you'd like to make?
No, I guess I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone involved, Anonymous, Kanan, my producer Emmanuel Ensink, and the team, but mainly the people of Dunedin. Like, this has really been a Dunedin community initiative for me and the people around me. So in sharing this project, I honor the people of Dunedin and all those who were involved.
And I guess you're hoping to get back here at some point.
Hopefully by the end of the year, but we'll wait it out and see how we go.
Great. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Simon.
Still to come on the south today. Central Otago feels the full sting of a spring storm, bringing snow and severe gales to the region. And we take a look at tomorrow's weather for you, so see you after the break.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Welcome back. Motorists using State Highway 6 south of Makarora are being warned to expect delays over the coming weeks. The New Zealand Transport Agency says work to install 2 new culverts on the highway along the top of Lake Wanaka will start soon. The highway connects Otago to the west coast via the Haast Pass. and no detour route is available. The Manahirakia and Maniatoto regions of Central Otago felt the full sting of a spring storm yesterday, which brought heavy rain, snow and severe gales to the southern region. Residents awoke to a blanket of snow on the hills throughout Central Otago and above Queenstown and Wanaka. 10 centimetres of snow was reported in Naseby and almost a foot in St Bathans. There was also widespread snow on the hills throughout Central Otago and above Queenstown and Wanaka. What was potentially bad news for farmers near the end of lambing and calving turned out to be a positive for youngsters during the school holidays. While the bulk of snow was melted by yesterday, the Met Service warned more was possible with today. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Dunedin's annual marathon race is cancelled for the second year running. A goat farmer near Gore is keen to share her knowledge with others. And a Southland jet ski group have held their first event of the summer. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Well, look, the excitement's building. We're starting to look ahead to Super Saturday, the big national vaccine drive, which is going to be carried out this Saturday. 70 sites set up around the region, so really encouraging everyone to go out there, get their first or second shot as well. So yeah, it's going to be a big event throughout the country. We talked locally to a 64-year-old man from Cromwell who contracted polio as a 3-month-old child and has had a lifelong of subsequent health problems since then. He's making a plea through the ODT for people to get out and get vaccinated, and so they need to think about their future because they don't know, you don't know what the future's going to hold if you don't be vaccinated and you catch COVID. So he's really making a big plea there. We've also got the latest vaccination figures from around the region. The Southern District Health Board's almost at 85% of people having at least their first vaccine, so that's a pretty good effort, and it's I think it's the 3rd best DHB in the country at the moment. So they're doing a good job down here, and and hopefully Saturday. Yeah, exactly, and hopefully Saturday will make a huge difference as well. Yeah. Well, a lovely story about a Logan Park pupil, Shima Jack. She's won a National Writing Award. It's the Sargison Prize for a short story called Muscle Memory. So she's done a great job there. Her prize is a week-long summer writing residency at the University of Waikato. So she's really looking forward to that. She's always loved writing, but never saw herself as a writer, funnily enough. So she might have to change her view on that after that award.
She could well do. That's a fantastic award, that one.
Yeah, she's done well. And sort of hard to get away from COVID at the moment, the impact it's having down here, even though we're on level 2. We talked to some Central Otago events organisers about the impact it's had up there and some of the things that have been cancelled. Of course, Blossom Festival's one that springs to mind recently. But with vaccination cards on the radar in the near future, some of them are sort of seeing a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and hopeful that some of these events they've got coming over sort of December, January, February will be able to go ahead. I know fortunately the Wanaka Beer Festival is planning to go ahead in early December regardless. They're going to adhere to obviously government regulations, but they're staying pretty positive about it, so hopefully things will remain in their favour over coming weeks. And just finally with sports, some good news finally for Otago Rugby on the injury front. Return of former All Black Liam Coltman, he got picked up a knee injury in the pre-season game way back now. And he was expected to be out for the season, but with COVID sort of lengthening the season out, he's managed to recover and will be back starting on the bench on Friday night, so that's good. They're playing Northland. It was supposed to be in Whangarei, but of course with lockdown up there, they've transferred the game to Rotorua, so it'd be nice to see Otago get a win on the board pretty smartly.
Be a good way to start the weekend.
It certainly would. Thank
Lovely,
you.
And you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Okay, looking at the situation, cold southerly airflow will ease further tomorrow with showers clearing and winds decreasing. On Friday, an anticyclone will finally make its way into the South Island, bringing clearing skies and nighttime frost. And looking at the northwest of the South Island, it's a cloudy day for both Greymouth and Westport, with 14 degrees for Westport and 15 degrees for Greymouth. Moving to the northeast of the South Island, Blenheim will see scattered showers with a high of 15 degrees, while Nelson is also 15 but mostly sunny. And moving down to Canterbury, Kaikoura can expect scattered showers with 11 degrees. Christchurch has light rain showers with 12 degrees, and Ashburton escapes the rain, but it's a cloudy overcast day with 12. Now looking at what's in store for the southern towns. Light southerlies, fine weather and 13 degrees for all in this region. That includes the Catlins, Gore, Balclutha. And travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, similar for all in this region too, with light southerlies, fine weather and 13 degrees for Wanaka, Alexandra and Te Anau. Queenstown slightly lower on 12 degrees. And looking at what's in store for the northern towns along the coast, Timaru and Oamaru. Moderate southwesterlies with cloud and 11 degrees. Further inland, Taizo and Amarama, light southerlies, fine weather and a high of 14 degrees. Moving to Dunedin, it will be cloudy with a few showers and gusty cold winds tonight. Tonight's low is 5. Any remaining showers will be clearing early tomorrow morning, but skies remaining mostly cloudy and temperatures are cold. Moderate to fresh gusty southwesterlies will decrease, looking at a high of 11 and a low of 5 degrees. Cloud breaks and sunny periods increase on Friday, with the cold southwesterlies finally dying out. A high of 13 and a low of 2. And in Invercargill, showers will start clearing tonight with southeasterlies decreasing. Tonight's low is 5. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods and a bit of cloud and moderate southerlies. Still rather cold, a high of 11 degrees and a low of 2. And it's mostly fine and sunny on Friday with light winds. Still cool though, a high of 13 and a low of 1. And that's the news for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, and you can follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe to be notified of southern news as it happens. Nō reira, kia pai te pou, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.